Girivaradari. Yachodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yachodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yachodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Vishpad Paramamsa Parivrajagacharya Stodra Shadashri Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, starting new chapter, chapter 16. Lord Parasurama destroyed the world's ruling class. So first I read the chapter summary, then we go to the shlokas. When Jamadagni was killed by the sons of Kartavirya Arjuna, as described in this chapter, Parasurama read the entire world of Kshatriyas 21 times. This chapter also describes the descendants of Vishwamitra. When Jamadagni's wife Renuka went to bring water from the Ganges and saw the king of the Gandharvas enjoying the company of Apsaras, she was captivated and she slightly desired to associate with him. Because of the sinful desire, she was punished by her husband. Parashurama killed his mother and brothers, but later, by dint of the austerities of Jamadagni, they were revived. The sons of Kartavirya Arjuna, however, remembering the death of their father, wanted to take revenge against Lord Parashurama, and therefore, when Parashurama was absent from the ashrama, they killed Jamadagni, who was meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Parashurama returned to the ashrama and saw his father killed, he was very sorry, and after asking his brothers to take care of the dead body, he went out with determination to kill all the Kshatriyas on the surface of the world. Taking up his axe, he went to Mahishmatipura, the capital of Kartavirya Arjuna, and killed all of Kartavirya Arjuna's sons, whose blood became a great river. Parashurama, however, was not satisfied with killing only the sons of Kartavirya Arjuna. Later, when Kshatriyas became disturbing, he killed them 21 times, so that there were no Kshatriyas on the surface of the earth. Therefore, Parashurama joined the head of his father to the dead body and performed various sacrifices to please the Supreme Lord. Thus, Jamadagni got life again in his body. And later he was promoted to the higher planetary system known as Saptarishi Mandala. Parashurama, the son of Jamadagni, still lives in Mahendra Parva. In the next Manvantara, he will become the preacher of Vedic knowledge. In the dynasty of Gadi, the most powerful Vishwamitra took birth. By dint of his austerity and penance, he became a Brahmana. He had 101 sons who were celebrated as Madhuchantas. In the sacrificial arena of Harishchandra, the son of Ajikartha, named Shunashepa, was meant to be sacrificed, but by the mercy of the Prajapati, he was released. Therefore, he became Devaratha in the dynasty of Gadi. The 50 elder sons of Vishwamitra, however, did not accept Shunashepa as their elder brother, and therefore Vishwamitra cursed them to become Mlechas, unfaithful to the Vedic civilization. Vishwamitra, 51st son, along with his younger brothers, then accepted the Shunashepa as their eldest brother, and their father, Vishwamitra, being satisfied, blessed them. Thus, Devarata was accepted in the dynasty of Kaushika, and consequently, there are different divisions of that dynasty. Next one. The first 5 verses has no purpose. I'll just read it. Then 6th verse we'll chant together. Shri Shuka Uvacha Pitro Pashikshito Ramas Tatethi Kuru Nandana Samvatsaram Tirtha Yatram Charita Shrama Avrajhat. Sukadev Goswami said, "My dear Maharaja Parikshit, son of the Kuru dynasty, when Lord Parashurama was given this order by his father, he immediately agreed, saying, 'Let it be so.' For 1 complete year he traveled to the holy places, then he returned to his father's residence. Kadachit Renukayatha Gangayam Padmamalinam Gandharva Rajam Kridantam Apsaro Bhir Apashyata. Once when Renuka, the wife of Jamadagni, went to the bank of the Ganges to get water, she saw the king of Gandharvas decorated with a garland of lotuses and sporting in the Ganges with the celestial women, Apsaras. Vilokayanti kridantanam udakhartham nadhim katha homa veda na sasmara kinchit chirarata spriha. She had gone to bring water from the Ganges, but when she saw Chitraratha, the king of the Gandharvas, sporting with the celestial girls, she was somewhat inclined toward him and failed to remember that the time for the fire sacrifice was passing. Kalat Kalatyayam tham vilokya munesh shapa vishankita agatya kalasham tassa purodhaya krithanjalihi. Later, understanding that the time for offering the sacrifice had passed, Renuka feared a curse from her husband. Therefore, when she returned, she simply put the water pot before him and stood there with folded hands. Vyabhicharam muni jnatva patnya paukipita bravit Natainaham putraka papam ityuktas thena chakrire. The great sage Jamadagni understood the adultery in the minds of his wife. Therefore, he was very angry and told his sons, "My dear sons, kill this sinful woman." But the sons did not carry out his order. Okay, now text 6. Please repeat. Ramaha sanchotita pitra bhratrim matra saha avadhit prabhavajnana munehe samyak समादेः तपसः च सः रामसंचोदितपित्रा भ्रातृमात्रा सहावधीत् प्रभावज्ञो मुने सम्यक् समाधेस्तपसश्च सः रामसंचोदितः पित्रा भ्रातृमात्रा सहावधीत् प्रभावज्ञो मुने सम्यक् समाधेस्तपसश्च सः रामसंचोदिते पित्रा भ्रातृमात्रा सहावधीत् प्रभावज्ञो मुने सम्यक् समाधेस्तपसश्च सः. Please chant. Rama Sancho. Rama Sanchotita Pitra. Bhava Muni Muni Sangya. Samadhistapasascha saha. Rama Sanchosita Pitra. Bhatri Matra Sahavadit. Prabhavagya Muni Samyak. Samadhistapasascha saha. Matajis. Rama Sanchosita Pitra. Rathin Matra Sahavadit. Bhavato Mune Samyak. Samadhistapasascha saha. Ramaha, Lord Parasurama, Sanchoditaha, being encouraged to kill his mother and brothers. Petra, by his father. Bhratrin, all his brothers. Matra Saha, with the mother. Avadhit, killed immediately. Prabhavagya, aware of the prose. Mune, of the great sage. Samyak, completely. Samadhe, by meditation. Tapasaha, by austerity. Cha, also. Saha, he. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. Jamadagni then ordered his youngest son, Parashurama, to kill his brothers who had disobeyed his order and his mother, who had mentally committed adultery. Lord Parashurama, knowing the power of his father, who was practiced in meditation and austerity, killed his mother and brothers immediately. Purport. The word Prabhavagya is significant. Parashurama knew the prowess of his father, and therefore he agreed to carry out his father's order. He thought that if he refused to carry out the order, he would be cursed. But if he carried out his father's would be pleased, and when his father was pleased, Parashurama would ask the benediction of having his mother and brother brought back to life. So Parashurama was confident in this regard, and therefore he agreed to kill his mother and brothers. Hare Krishna. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swami Namine. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyabhadi Parshatya Deshatarane. Ya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Rama Sanchotita Pitra Bhratri Matra Samavati Prabhavagyo Mune Samyak Samadhis Tapasas Chachaha. Again translation. Jamadagni then ordered his youngest son Parashurama to kill his brothers who had disobeyed this order and his mother who had mentally committed adultery. Lord Parashurama, knowing the power of his father, who was practiced in meditation and austerity, killed his mother and brothers immediately. So here we continue to read the Parashurama's pastime. The Lord Parashurama is, you all know that he is a Sakti Abhish avatar. He is not some ordinary personality. And here some unusual incident is happening that, father is ordering to kill, his one wife and other sons by, the youngest son is killing all these people, and it's not, every day in everyone's life is happening. It's very unusual. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, in his commentary, he says this: following is such an order is despicable. It's not, nice thing to do, It's not, asking to chant holy name or take prasadam or, giving some other order which is everyone likes to, or, which is very pleasing. It's not really. But Parashurama did not hesitate. He just fulfilled the order, and Prabhupada explained that because he knew the power of Jamadagni, he is not also some ordinary person. He is a great rishi, and he knows the power of Jamadagni, and he was very confident, and he killed. And as we know, the story later we will read that he bring them back to the life. So he was very confident. Therefore, he was doing. Otherwise, it's not, nice to kill own mother and brothers, and it's not easy thing also. And we see in Kurukshetra, Arjuna was similar situation. He's supposed to kill his own grandfather, who was, from childhood they were growing on his lap, and he taught them so much about life. And he has to kill his own guru, who taught him all the, war, signs of the war, and, all great things he learned from him. Arjuna became very famous because, Dronacharya was, teaching more than anybody else, because he was very good student. And he has to kill Kripacharya and all other great personalities. And he was completely confused. And we know from Bhagavad Gita in the beginning, he was completely, his mouth became completely dry and shivering, and gave up his Kandiva, which is, no one can even imagine that, Arjuna would just leave his Kandiva. He was so much, proud of his bow, and he was very great hero. All world knows the heroism. He is very great powerful Kshatriya, but now he is not able to fight because he's seeing, oh, how can I kill all these great personalities? And he put so many reasons. It's not dharma, it's sinful, and how can I be happy by killing all of them? And like that, so many reasons he puts. But later, same Arjuna, after hearing Bhagavad Gita, he just karishe vachanam thava. He said, as you say, I'm ready to do. He just took bow and arrow and he just started to kill all of them. He just fighting heavily. So same thing, because Parashurama's brothers, they did not do the order. You may say that like in the beginning stage of Arjuna, that they were hesitated, they didn't want to do it because they were considering, how can I kill my own mother? But Parashurama is like, after hearing Gita, Arjuna started fight like that. He had understanding. He knew the power of Jamadagni, and so he just, with full confidence, he did. So the point is like here, the it's not like some, anyone can, like this, order someone to kill and then, bring back the life. It's not easy also. But unless if they are powerful, like it's Jamadagni Rishi, it's not possible. Today in the modern world, there is so much, the medical science is improved so much last 50 years, 100 years. If you see so many things that they developed, but they are not able to do that. They cannot extend your life for a second. Or to speak, bring back the dead man to the life. And in the history, in the past, we see there's so many incidents. It's not just one incident. In Bhagavatam itself, we can see that Narada Muni bringing back life of that Harsha Shoka, the son of, what is the king name? Chitraketu, yeah. And there are many, many incidents like that. This happens. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself also brought back the life of Srinivasa Acharya, yeah. So the many incidents we can see that in the past is the people, they had much more knowledge, they were much more powerful. So better we just follow this knowledge which is given in Bhagavatam, and our life is safe. Of course, it's not advised for us to do this, but just to learn by following the Vedic knowledge, by doing this sense control, mind control, performing austerity, you become so powerful. And what to speak of the spiritual, completely like what we are practicing, this Bhakti Yoga, which is completely above all this material platform. So it's so powerful process what we are practicing. Everything in our process, chanting holy name, prasadam, hearing harikatha from devotees, and especially Prabhupada very often say pure devotees. And then, like this, we can go on, list out all our activities. It's so powerful. But unfortunately, many of us, most of the time, are not realizing the power of the process what we are practicing. Therefore, we are, lazy and we are not so enthusiastic, not so serious. And then the process become like burden. Oh, I have to wake up for Mangalarati. Oh, I have to go for Kirtan. Why this devotee is singing so long? 7:45 is supposed to finish. Why is extended Kirtan? Uh, all crazy thought comes, all the ideas comes. Uh, we can see sometimes devotees, they just, if Kirtan extends, if a little extend, they just walk out, or, they go somewhere on the corner and sit, or they just sit down, they don't, you know, become more enthusiastic. You're supposed to be opposite. You're just more enthusiastic. Because you are chanting holy name, you get more energy, more powerful, and you're supposed to be more eager for a longer kirtan. But it's not always is happening. But there are many, many devotees who are very enthusiastic, very serious, so always any opportunity comes, they chant and they hear and they dance and then, they take part in this process of Sankirtana movement. And we see that, many times devotees, they just completely absorbed in chanting and they forgot, other things to do. Or sometimes, I remember previously when our Krishna Kirtan Prabhu was in Salem, he is very enthusiastic to chant Kirtan bhajans. He is a very good singer also. And several times it happened, Sunday feast program will start with bhajans, and then after 1 hour supposed to be lecture, and and then after 1 hour lecture is supposed to be prasadam. Usually we had a program starts like at 10:30, 11:30 lecture, then yeah. So then again prasadam after kirtan prasadam. But sometimes you see we had like up to 3 o'clock. Just bhajans will go on, kirtan will go on. Once arati starts, there is no lecture. And prasadam time also is already over. Supposed to take prasadam 1:30, but till 3 o'clock, 3:30, sometimes happen, kirtan will just go on. Because devotees are so enthusiastic, so bliss, chanting holy name. Because this is the process, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself showed how blissful this process. And Prabhupada himself also, personally, he was so enthusiastic. Just by chanting holy name, he attracted all the hippies in the West. He's old man, and just had one karatal, and not, in the West already they had so many different instruments. And it's not that, all the hippies were attracted with that Prabhupada had all the orchestra, all the instruments. So he attracted, not like that. Very simple. But the holy name is so powerful, it can attract anyone, anywhere. You just sing and it purifies the atmosphere, it purifies the people's mind, heart, as soon as the holy name enters into their ear. So I thought, because here Prabhupada is mentioning that Prabhavajna, that aware of the powers of, the word is very significant, he say, because it's short purport, I don't know what to speak more than this incident, because the story already we read in the chapter summary. So I thought maybe some of these things we can discuss. So here is few quotes where Prabhupada explains in his books the power of holy name. Because it's our day-to-day life, this is what we're supposed to be engaged, you know. Chanting, is the most important thing in our process, in our day-to-day life. Without this holy name, and when we take Diksha, we promise to our spiritual master that we chant minimum 16 rounds, every day until, last breath of our life. And so it's minimum that much, and maximum, there is no limit. Prabhupada say you can chant 16,000 rounds. Why only 60? Several times devotees ask, why 16? Why? What is this particular number? Why is 16 only? 16,000 rounds you can chant. So, and when we speak about this process of chanting holy name, and sometimes other religious people like Christians, Islam, and other religious people, they may think that, we are also chanting holy name. We are also, worship God, and we also chant the God's name, because every religion, they do some kind of chanting. They have, even they have beads also, like us Christians, they have also. And so they also have this, they think, we are also doing. But it's not is same seriousness, same understanding as we do. Because we got from the Shastra, from our Acharyas, from Parampara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, given so much knowledge about the power of the holy name. So especially devotees, they ask many times to Prabhupada about this Christianity. So there is a famous section in the Science of Self-Realization book where Prabhupada is speaking about the Christianity related to the chanting holy name. And Prabhupada say that, to speak frankly, I find it difficult to find even one real Christian. The so-called Christian do not abide by the Bible's order. One of the 10 commandments in the Bible is, thou shalt not kill. But where is that Christian who does not kill by eating or flesh of the cow? The process of chanting the Lord's holy name and distributing prasadam will be effective if carried out by the persons who are actually practicing the religion. My disciples are trained to strictly follow religious principles, and therefore their chanting of the holy name of God is different from others. There is not simply a rubber stamped position. They have realized the purifying power of the holy name through practice. It's very, interesting. Even though, other religious people, they may think that we are chanting holy name, we are also practicing spiritual life, but it's not the same. So Prabhupada says it's not just simply a rubber stamp. I'm born in Christian family, I go to church, I become Christian. Not like that. By following. This instruction may apply to all the religions, even the so-called Hindus also, who follow all the Hindu Dharma. Hardly anyone. So this is the difference. Prabhupada said that my disciple is trained strictly follow the religious principles. Not only just chant the holy name and then go on commit sins. Prabhupada many times, calls again Christians so that they, go once a week in the Sunday in the church, and then, please forgive. They beg, The father says, the priest, he sits behind the screen and, they ask for forgiveness, and then on the way back, to home, go to the chicken store, and purchase, chicken or mutton again. Or sometimes they eat even in the same church. They don't have to even go out. The church itself, they eat. So it doesn't make sense. Prabhupada is explaining that it is like an elephant is taking bath, and then after hours of enjoying the bathing in the water, and then it comes out on the bank of river, and then through all the mud and immediately. So, namno bala jasigi papa buddhi navijate tasai amayarhi sudhi. Doing sinful activities, thinking that, oh, I'm chanting holy name, so this holy name is so powerful, it can destroy all the sinful reactions, so I can go on commit again against sin. So it's never recommended. One should not do that. That becomes offense to the holy name. Then you will never realize the holy name, power of the holy name. So not only that, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is describing the glories of Haridas Thakur in Antya Leela, chapter 3. And there is a verse says that, explaining about the power of holy name. Some of them said, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is freed from the reactions of sinful life. Others said, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, a living being is liberated from material bondage. So getting relief from the sinful reaction and, liberation, these things are mentioned. Kabe keha bale nama haite haya bhapak kshaya. Keha bale nama haite jivera moksha haya. But that's not the really real power of the holy name. Haridas Thakur is protesting when this statement is given. He said, no, these two benedictions are not true result of chanting holy name. Actually, by chanting the holy name without offense, one awakens his ecstatic love for the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is what Haridas Thakur say. He is the, Nama Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, giving him this, name, Nama Acharya, his authority for chanting holy name. And he indicated this, that chanting holy name, this like moksha and, get relief from the sinful reaction. These all may happen, but these are all kind of side effect. It's not really, that's not the goal of chanting holy name. So, and we see also this holy name is so powerful. Even sometimes people chant without even intention to call the Lord or addressing the Lord, even without understanding His Lord's name. If they chant, also is benefited. One nice incident is also quoted that the militias or Evanas, they, when they are chanting this haram, that, when boar comes and, hits them and they are just about to leave the body and they just chant this, and haram means is like condemned. And still, they are not thinking of the Lord. They are not knowing that it is there is Rama, the word is there, is Lord's name. They are not aware of all this. But still, they are benefited. It's considered like Lord takes it as they chant the holy name. So, and by imitating, sometimes people criticizing devotees, what is this nonsense you are chanting Hare Krishna? Just by saying this, there is Hare Krishna is there, so they get benefited. So his holy name is so powerful. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to approve the articles written by different devotees for the publishing in their magazine. And he used to just see how many times they have written the holy name in the article. If the more, Krishna's name, Ram's name, and, holy name is there, and is approved. So because what people can understand philosophy, this is reading, hearing holy name, this is really needed for common people. Not everyone is, capable to understand the philosophy. So therefore we see our Prabhupada's books also is Prabhupada, wherever it's possible, he gives holy name in his books many, many times. Especially, I remember in Bhagavad Gita, in the 8th chapter, in the purport, in one purport, one paragraph is there. In one purport, there are 2 times full Mahamantra Prabhupada gives. Because the chapter is attaining the Supreme. So that's the process, chanting holy name. So Prabhupada is emphasizing again. I think the 8th chapter is most number of Mahamantra he gives in the purport. And another thing we all well known incident that Ajamila in the deathbed and chanting Narayana's name, even though he was calling his son, but we all know what happened. That Vishnu Dutas came and stopped the Yamadutas, taking him from to Yamaloka. And the holy name is so powerful. There is also a very interesting quote I read from the Srila Prabhupada, of course, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's comment that chanting of the holy name of Lord Vishnu is the best process of atonement for one who steals gold or other valuables, for a drunkard, for one who betrays a friend or relative, for one who kills a brahmana, or for a person who indulges in sex with the wife of his guru or another superior. It is also best method of atonement for a person who murders his father, the king or woman, for one who slaughters cows, and for all other sinful men, simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Vishnu. Such a sinful person attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord, who then considers, because this man has chanted my holy name, my duty to give him protection. Even all these kind of different sinful people, some of them are really, very serious thing. Even this killing Brahmana and all these kind of sinful people can be, protected if they chant the holy name. Of course, before we already heard that this is not the main goal, but unless once we, get free from the sinful reactions, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that Esham Kvanta Kadam Papam Janana Punya Karmana, that unless we get free from the sinful reactions, and we cannot, really engage in the pure devotional service, and we cannot get love of God. So this also is necessary, but by chanting holy name, this, even though its side effect is very, is so powerful. So this chanting holy name is, if one go on chanting, even if with aparata, if they go on chanting, then gradually they will come out of this offensive stage, and then one day they can reach Suddhanama. It's so powerful. Even with the offense, one chants still is purifies. Of course, not with intentionally, commit offense. We should try to avoid. Therefore, these 10 offenses are given. So we should know at least what are these 10 offenses. And then we should try to avoid as much as possible. But sometimes, unintentionally, if we perform any offense, if we go on chanting holy name, we can purify it from this offensive chanting also. So in that way, if one go on chanting holy name or hearing holy name, and they realize that the holy name itself is establishes its supremacy of over everything in the world. Anything the devotee who relates the holy name, and he can understand it. There is nothing greater than the holy name. He just have interested chanting holy name, nothing else, like a Haridas Thakur. So a few things, there are many things we can go on quoting and talk. And there are many other things also, power of spiritual master, power of Vaishnavas, deities, and prasadam, and many things we can go on speaking like that. But the chanting is most essential thing, so I thought to share a few things. So I stop here, if any comment or question.
Just thinking that, we have, by the order of the Guru, we have to follow the 4 relative principles, chant 16 rounds. I was thinking that we have 6 enemies. We have to kill the 6 enemies. Killing means like by following the by Guru. So we have to do that. But because we are in Maya, we are embracing it. And I was just thinking of a Gita verse where Krishna says, by my mercy, you will be able to overcome all the difficulties. If you don't follow out of ahankar, then you will, it's like a curse, like you will be destroyed. So here we see Parashuram is amazing, because also Prabhupada makes the point that he's omniscient. He was well aware of everything. So he had so much faith on the words of his father, and he did. So I was just thinking, for us also, if we have that faith in the words of the Guru, that this process will work, and then we will be able to get purified. As you said, we can make such a good progress. And then also I was thinking of other incidents where there are, of course, so many incidents where devotees who could not perceive at that point of time when Prabhupada gave some instruction that you have to do it. For example, I was thinking of Harikesh Maharaj when he was as a personal secretary of Prabhupada, who was traveling to so many places. At one point of time, he said, no, you just go, you just have to leave me, and then you go and then preach in the West. And then he also relates, after several years, I could understand, then so many books were printed in other languages. Because he left Prabhupada and he followed what he said. So like that, there are so many incidents where we need to hear from our Guru and then have faith. Another incident I thought about was about when this Krishna's Babaji Maharaj, the Akinchan Krishna's Babaji Maharaj, when there was a discussion that how Swami Prabhupada, how he could do it, because as you were explaining about the holy name, so the one significant point he said is that Prabhupada had tremendous faith in the holy name. So that made a big difference, that he created a great revolution. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Kandraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.